Okay, this is Module 2, Advanced Methods of Striking. Now, as we mentioned before, avoid using fist blows. As we said, punching surfaces of the head, points of the elbows could do some serious damage to a fist. We trained on the Makiwara. We condition our fists. It takes time. Okay, we still, for self-defense and close combat, we avoid using fist blows in the beginning. Eventually, when we condition our hands, we get the fist blows. But now we're going to concentrate on the blows that are either that need to be trained a little bit more or specifically target a certain part of the body. First, we're going to start with the web hand blow or the hand yoke. It is just done, again, convulsively, snapped out just like the edge of hand, but now instead of hitting with the edge, we're hitting with the inside. And it is typically thrown to the throat. Okay, from the rear hand position, snap into the throat. But that's not where its sole target or sole purpose is. Oh, let me start that again. Okay. Snap convulsively into the throat. But again, it can go to other target areas just as easily. Side of the neck. So if I'm off to the side and this hand's tied up and I need to, I can come in from the side of the neck with the web of hand blow. Also, bridge of the nose. Excellent place. So you'll start with just in that drop step position, weight forward. Now I'm going to step and drive in with that throat, with that web of hand. So you'll step, drive in. What's excellent with this technique is the follow-up with the larynx crush. Okay, again, we talked about in the beginning getting something to squeeze and ripping and tearing and practicing it. This is why you do this, people. So you step, drive in, crush the larynx. Okay? When you're crushing the larynx, you're looking to just bring your fingers in and meet in the back of his throat and crush it just like a beer can. All right? So you'll step, drop step, web of hand, crush the larynx. And then it's excellent to obviously follow up with the knee to the testicles while you continue to drive your knee in. So, web of hand blow, stepping in, driving in with the knee to the testicles. Continue to squeeze. Another excellent combination is using your chin jab straight up and pinning the head and then following up with that web of hand blow. So we set. Again, as you notice, we're not getting in any stance, of course. There's no time for that nonsense. Okay? As soon as we're here, this is how fights start. They don't start like this. They don't start like this. None of that stuff. Okay? They start two guys having words or somebody fronting you. All right? So, again, chin jab straight up, taking that hand, driving it straight in for the larynx crush. Okay? Coming in with a knee. Again, chin jab, bang, hand yoke. Another excellent use is, again, we pin the head. We can pin the head with a strike. We can also pin it with a gouge or pin it with a hair grab. Okay? In this case, no hair, no problem. We gouge them back, and there's our hand yoke. Okay? Really simple, really brutal, really effective. So pinning it, hands in his face, just pulling his, we're in a grappling situation here. And, there it is, there's my larynx crush, and there's my knee to the testicles. Another effective use of the hand yoke, Peter, turn around, not necessarily so much in civilian work, but in law enforcement work, is just seizing the back of the head and grabbing it. Okay? So instead of coming in with a full-out blow, just bang, it'll stun him enough so you can get a hold of somebody and latch onto him. But again, more law enforcement, less civilian application. And that completes the hand yoke. Before we did the single chin jab, next is the double chin jab which is exactly what it sounds like. Hands come up again from any position, straight up into the chin. You can gouge into the eyes, drive your knees into the testicles. Again, this is, as we mentioned Fairburn before in the last video, this was his favorite, especially it's an excellent for women's self-defense or someone who's smaller, simply because, again, you're using your whole body and driving it into the chin as opposed to just using a single hand. So, again, straight forward, hands form a V. And they come right up the center line, into the chin, and straight in. Next, we'll use the hammer fist or the fist blows, not in the traditional sense as you would be punching with the knuckles, but with the soft or fleshy part of the hand. Again, like the heel of hand, like the edge of hand, can take a lot of damage, and they can dish it out. Really simple, making a fist, curling in the fingers as tight as possible, tucking the thumb. We're going to be hitting the first with the short hammer fist with that little L that forms on your pinky. Now this is just going to be a digging type of strike. Sitting from this position, we could shoulder stop, straight in and dig. Dig, hammer, and hammer. Short, chopping strikes. Dig, dig, dig. Okay. Again, punch, follow in with the rear, short, chopping hammer fist. Okay. Again, his elbow happens to come up, protect himself, it doesn't matter. I chop, I dig, and I hit. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Next, the natural follow-up to something like this is going to be the long hammer fist. Now with the short hammer fist digging with that little knuckle, dig into the eye socket, into the ear, into the jaw. Now the long hammer fist is going to hit with the meaty part of the hand, and it's going to take the head clean off, similar to a long axe hand that was from last module. Similar, same thing, swing the body here. So we're going to start punch stop, dig across, and straight into the head with that hammer fist. Punch, dig, really simple, really effective, brutal combination. Again, we're just changing the way we're shaping our fist. This takes a little training, a little time, a little practice, but the body motion and the body mechanics are the same, and everything builds on the last. So we're still doing here, this could be a vertical edge of hand, doesn't matter. Now it's just a hammer, it's that short hammer fist. Then it comes across, bang. And that's the beauty of the system. Okay? Everything, the same body mechanics are the same. Same brutal movements, same taking ground, same taking momentum. Okay, as opposed to just blasting and just hammering straight down with your fist, think of it as a digging motion, so you're digging in and rotating in, and it just hacks and snaps in. Okay, it has to be a quick, short, snapping motion, as opposed to a big driving motion. When it's a big driving motion, then we're hitting with the meaty part of our hand. Different type of strike. Bang. It's driving, it's across and in. Different type of strike. Again, you can, hitting into the body, you see this a lot, again, avoid going into the math, stick with hitting the head. And again, I wouldn't suggest necessarily going into the testicles, just because edge of hand works better going in there. Okay. Dig, dig, as opposed to driving. Driving is the long axe hand. The reason why we don't do that in this position, for obvious reasons, it takes too long. Right now it takes too long. If I had damaged him, sure, I can wind up and hit him. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But dig, and then come across, finish. Next is our cupped hand blow. Think of this like you're scooping water Okay? Hands just simply cupped. This is delivered to the ear, bursting the eardrum, disturbing equilibrium and balance. Could be single or double. Single cupped hand blow. Again, we'll just start from from a regular position. Back, over. Again, these can be used in any type of combination. Hand yoke, edge of hand, cupped hand blow. I mean, anything. Once you start practicing these single techniques, you start putting your combinations together like we do in some of the drill segments. So, even if he's bent over, I kick him, he bends over, single, double cupped hand blow. The ear box or the double cupped hand blow is excellent, followed up with a gouge, driving straight in and driving your knees into the testicles while you're shaking the head violently. Okay. So you step. Again. Again, like we mentioned before, kicking him, bent over, double cupped hand blow, single cupped hand blow, turning around from the rear, maybe in a central removal type of situation, cupped hands to the rear, again, following with the knee and getting into some of the other techniques is where the cupped hand blow will come into play. Okay, next method of striking, again, a little bit unorthodox because that's what this module is all about, is the shoulder smash. So we can do it from a drop step position where we're in a little tight quarters. I can't raise my hands too much just to create some space. I drive the point of my shoulder into his solar plexus. Okay? So from this point, weight forward. I see him, I just to create some space. We could be in a grappling type of situation where I'm locking into his head and I'm just driving my shoulder right into his face. So I'd smash and knee, smash and knee, smash and knee. Okay. Locking it, bringing it across, smashing my shoulder in, kick, smash, kick. Okay, just driving that shoulder in. You have to use all parts of your body. All parts of your body. So driving the shoulder point in, and then moving into a short edge of hand, long edge of hand, chin jab. Okay? So, again, that drop step tight. Anything to create space. Anything to create space. Locked in tight. If I get him and I drive that shoulder head, I drive the shoulder, smash into his face, and lock him in tight. Hold him in tight. Now, I can smash him, working my knees, kicking shins, stomping. Okay, there's a few things you need to remember when doing headbutts. One is the head does not move independent of the body, which means the neck is tight, the jaw is clenched, and the eyes are slammed shut. If they're not, if you are loose and you are making contact, there's a very good chance that you're going to cause as much damage to you as him, and you're both going to walk away with your eyes rattling. Okay, you're delivering the blow with where your hairline is or where it used to be, the soft, fleshy parts of the face. For demonstration purposes, I'll just be hitting Pete in the chest. So, tight, driving it straight in. This time I'm just using it with a drop step. Tight. Okay. We could be in a locked up grappling situation. I could pin him down. Smash. Driving my knee. Smash. Knees in. So, pin. Moving. Again, we're only seeing like a couple of techniques at a time. These are just opening gambits. They start as a barrage of techniques. You don't know where the person's going to wind up. That's why you practice multiple strikes, multiple techniques. Because after, who knows where he's going to wind up? Who knows? Okay, but just practice taking ground, using momentum, keeping them off balance, and driving them home. So we've got the forward headbutt. Next would be the ramming headbutt, where we're in a position where we would just hit with the top of our head, drive it straight into a solar plexus. Straight in. Okay. Again, from this position, little tighter quarters, just dropping it in. After, following it up. Next series of headbutts, again, concentrating on the hairline, side to side. So we'll be wrapped up. Maybe we're obviously in a grappling situation. He's got me pinned. Arms are pinned. I'm just going to move my head side to, moving back the other way. Smashing the head in, smashing the head back. Of course, always moving our knees. Always moving our knees. So you've got the straight headbutt, got the side-to-side headbutt, you've got the ramming headbutt, and last is going to be the upward driving headbutt. Position that we'll be talking about is just coming in from after let's say a fingertip jab to the testicles. Now, in some of the other tapes we talked about the finger dart or the finger whip where the hand was flicked out. This time, instead of having your opponent impale themselves on the tips of your fingers, it's going to be an aggressive strike. It either goes to the eyes or to the testicles. Hands at a 90 degrees, thumb tucked in, driving straight into the eyes, into the face. Anything to affect a reaction. Coming around the waist, driving straight up into the testicles. Now, feet come together. My ear is right on his center line. My jaw is clenched. My neck is tight. Straight up. So, he is bent over after I struck him in the testicles. Now I'm straight up. And you just shoot up just like a rocket. This time, just don't bend over. Okay? So, we're coming in. Again. Okay, just from the rear, just that post. So I just step in, finger dart. The square position, 1. Post, 2. Driving straight up. Turn around. Out this way. Okay, face camera. Okay, good. Just driving finger dart, post, striking the testicles, driving straight up. So you've got your front headbutt, your side-to-side headbutt, your ramming headbutt, and of course your rising headbutt. And that completes the headbutt series. Now we begin the elbow strike series. Again, like most of the techniques today, they don't require a lot of conditioning, but they do require practice. The elbow strike series isn't any different. We're going to start with just our elbow spike, which convulsively, as he moves into me, I just stick out my elbow. Again, it could be done from any direction. It doesn't matter. From the rear, I see him out of the corner, I just stick it in there. Now, even if Pete were to come in and grab me and I'm just put a bear hug on me, he still has to deal with this. It's not going to stop it, but it'll get him to pause and it'll allow me the time that I need to effectively deliver a response to him. So, we're just going to start. Your partner comes into you, just step it up. You notice I'm also just kind of stepping my body back a little bit. For now, because there's 2 ways to react. There's proactive and reactive. Okay, if he's coming at me out of the blue, I got to get some distance. Again, when they start getting into this range, some things have gone wrong. Okay, you let your guard down and you let him get close to you. Okay, so next is just this elbow spike now from a more proactive position with the drop step. Driving it straight in, elbow down. Again, similar to the short edge of hand. Again, move in. More time. Again, this is an excellent move for closer range. Before, we were at a distance where if he had to hit me, he had to shift his weight. Some of these, we're moving into a closer range because, well, it's not a perfect world and some people are going to get close to you. It could be in a crowded subway platform or even a bar where, space is just going to be extremely limited. So, the drop step and elbow spike. Next, we can immediately follow up with a horizontal elbow swing. Now I'm going to step with my rear foot, and I'm just going to totally come across. So just watch out. Okay? So, moves in. Okay. Reel your body across. Swing your body all the way across. If I get jammed up, it doesn't matter. I hit with my shoulder, I hit him, I move my body, I body check him back. Does not matter. Does not matter. Okay. I move in, just move back a second. Okay, good. He approaches. Good. The horizontal elbow swing. Great in multiple attacker scenarios because as he's moving here, partner's coming in, I just continue to take ground and reel my elbows and swing. Reel my elbows and swing. So, drop step. And I'm actually taking it a little easy with my feet because I like Pete a lot. So, I really don't want to hurt him. Here, come over, here, stomping. Okay? As he moves back and I reel in, stomping. Okay? Don't be afraid to put your hands up. Okay? All right, so, drop step. His reaction, put your hands up. It's okay. Okay, good. Step in, over. Okay, now I'm moving them. Creating space, wreaking havoc. Back up here for a second. Okay, so if I were really doing this, it would be okay, moving, ripping, and torquing your body. So we have the horizontal. Next, we've got the vertical, which come in a downward arc. So it'd be elbow spike. So this time, instead of doing it with the drop step, we're going to back up. Elbow spike, come straight down with our rear vertical elbow swing and across. Again, comes in elbow. Now immediately follow. You better back up. Immediately follow. With the opposite angle swing. She comes in. Okay. Now if I created space, now I start moving in on them. After those rear elbows and those elbow swings, again, we're not talking about just one single shot. We're reeling our whole body around and reeling our whole body back. The next will be that rear elbow and the torquing elbow. Again, it's from a rear assault position. This time you're just going to move your body and twist your body and snap that elbow into him. Okay? Try not to wind up so much in this situation. Okay, so he's right behind me. There's not a lot of room to move. I just torque. Okay? You snap. Okay? Body just snaps, and then I can follow up with a rising elbow and an edge of hand. Really simple stuff. So move. Again. Again. And again. So, got that rear elbow, rising elbow, straight up. I hit him, he bends over, bang. Hit, there it is. Chop in. So, we've got the elbow spike, the horizontal elbow swing. You've got the vertical elbow swing in both directions. You have the rear elbow strike, got the upward elbow strike. Lastly, you've got the downward elbow strike. Again, I've seen this used a lot in some of the magazines and stuff where guys are actually, the guy shoots in on me and I'm going to just do this. And don't even think about it. Okay, because if somebody's actually taking a shot, there's a lot of momentum happening here. You're only using these types of techniques when you've damaged them enough where they're bent over. So I've got kick. I've pulled his head down. And now I drive and drop that elbow. Just like the vertical edge of hand, now it's just an elbow strike dropping down into the target. So for review, the elbows. You've got the elbow spike. You've got the horizontal elbow swing. You've got the vertical elbow swing in both directions. So you've got coming down and also coming up. You have your rear elbow strike. You've got your upward elbow strike. And then lastly, you've got your downward elbow strike. Again, all these body motions are interchangeable with the edge of hands, the heel of hands. They're supposed to be that way. Again, effective and brutal. Practice these, put these in combinations, get comfortable with them. Okay? Driving in the elbow spike to the edge of hand, chop, 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 chop. Okay? Have fun with it, mix and match them. Next area of the body we're going to concentrate on striking onto the hips. Okay, the hip whip or the double hip whip is, again, recovering distance, be in a situation where you just need to get somebody out of the way, and you would just launch yourself into them, delivering the blow like a hip check, like you would a hockey player. So, Pete, for safety's sake, just kind of get on your side a little bit. Okay, good. So we're going to step. Again, normally I'm going to deliver this blow to the nice fleshy part of Pete's body. Not that fleshy, I know, but don't worry about it. You're going to drive that hip in, bang. Practice sake, right now for demonstration purposes, I'm going to just deliver my hip to Pete's hip and his thigh. So when we do this, we're going to jump and drive it in. And it's a nice, jarring, shocking motion. Different than you would a kick. There's a lot of body weight behind it, a lot of commitment behind it. You just simply step and in. And Pete's anticipation of the impact will demonstrate that it hits pretty hard. Okay, it hits pretty hard. Without, just get out of the way for a second, Pete, just so I can straight. So you're really just driving your hip and your whole body in and launching yourself into the position. Again, I want to be almost right where Pete's standing, right where he's standing. So here, boom, hip in. So again, a very good disrupting technique. Okay, shocking his system, creating that jolt, catching him off guard. His attention may be elsewhere, and I can just move in and boom. Okay. Move in. He may be locked up. We could also be law enforcement trying to effect an arrest. He's being held, and I just want to bang, get him out of the way. Again, now I guess Pete's had enough of those shots because he's moving out of the way now. The next hip striking technique is to the rear. Again, this could be in a grabbing or a bear hug type of situation. And even before we even get into that, as I feel him move in, I just bang, shoot my hips back and shoot my arms forward. Again, moves in, cheer, moving them back. Striking with the hips, as he moves in, cheer, elbow, hack, hack, hack. Okay, just to open it up, just to start, just to create a space, another little trick for your toolbox. The last segment of advanced striking methods are, of course, the kicking methods. Again, you're going to avoid using sweeping type of roundhouse type of techniques because they leave you vulnerable to takedown. If I'm throwing a sporting type roundhouse technique and he just steps in on it, there's a very good chance I could wind up on the ground. So you want to avoid those types of techniques, those Muay Thai and those, round type of techniques. You can move in with just dropping the knee in tight if you're in a close clinch type of situation. That's okay. But again, anything larger than that, bigger motion than that, is going to cause you some serious problems. Besides, opening your body up, they have a tendency to take really, really long. So the first thing we're going to do is just practice those stomping, driving knees and foot stomps. So you're going to be locked up in a clinch, okay, like a bear hug. All you're going to do is just drop and stomp and stomp. So when you're moving and taking ground, that's exactly how you're going to do. Let's just bring it up to speed, okay? So you grab. Okay. Really brutal, really effective. That's the way your footwork has to be. Okay, constantly driving, taking ground. Those knees, every time I drive in, look where my foot lands. It lands right on that center line. Continually taking him off balance, driving him, and driving him. Continually taking ground. Always taking ground. Next type of technique for a knee, other than the driving, is that dropping or stomping technique. The dropping knee we talked about could be delivered to the kneecap, the thigh, again, inside the thigh, jockeying for position when you're close, from a close range, from a grappling situation. So we're locked up here. I'm driving my knees in, I'm headbutting in here, and I'm moving. Okay? Just anything you can do to generate power, to create enough space so you can create a greater opening to deliver more power and a more damaging blow. Okay, so you take little bits and pieces, create openings. Cheer, driving in, dropping that knee in. Now I've got a shin, now I've got a stomp. Now I can move. Next technique will be a point kick, which is just like a front kick, but you're just pointing your toe. Again, very like from Savat. Okay, when we talk about throwing kicks, we take into consideration we're wearing shoes or boots, so that it technically don't have to be chambered as much as a side kick. As a karate kick or a martial arts kick, where you're kicking in bare feet. Because again, we've got some weight on our feet. Our foot's protected. We don't have to worry about what position of our toe so much and how our ankle is and a whole bit. It's just really simple. You're just swinging. Point of the boot could go into the shin, could go into the kneecap, could go into the testicles, right into the leg fork. Again, it's not chambered. It just swings here. Nothing, just. This is an opening technique, creating some distance, covering some ground, throwing just up. Getting that reaction, delivering the point of your boot right into his fork. Turn again. Again, don't chamber, don't pick the kick up. It's not that type of kick. Just comes from a regular stance position, and just let the foot swing naturally into the fork, into the target, into the shin, into the thigh. Again, use the point of the shoe or the point of the boot and cause damage. It's a great disrupting technique. He moves. Now I cover. Now I start to take him apart. The next kick is the saddle kick, which is really the instep of the shoe, the foot. Again, the fact is, if you can't catch him with his legs spread open, okay, fine. Chances are that it's not gonna happen, but it is a viable kick if you have him down and he's moved and I can just drive it up. And it's called a saddle kick because when you kick, it looks like he's just right on a saddle. Okay? So, again, I've moved him, I've hit him here. He's too far for a knee. He's damaged enough, his legs are open, I see the opportunity, I drive the kick in. Again. So this time I'm just doing a finger jab, edge of hand, tiger claw, saddle kick. All right, buddy. Okay. Finger jab, edge of hand, tiger claw, saddle kick. Okay, each time explode into your technique when you're practicing. So finger drop, edge of hand, tiger claw, saddle kick, shoulder smash. Next is the side kick. Like we mentioned before, typical karate and taekwondo and barefoot systems, you would chamber your kick and drive it in. Again, there are a wide variety of side kicks you can use. We're using just an unchambered side kick. We're just starting from a ready position and just snapping it. Just snapping it. Doesn't get chambered. The foot just picks up and just goes straight to the target. Again, as an opening technique, you don't have a lot of time. As we mentioned before, again, we're wearing shoes, so we have a lot of weight, and we can just deliver the kick as quickly as possible into our target. Obviously, we're not kicking above the waist, kicking anywhere in the knee, shin area, okay? Snapping it forward, and just let the leg snap out. Again, from the other side, just snap. It just snaps. Typically, with opening techniques, you really just want to stay with your front side. There are instances where you would be closing distance where you use a rear side technique. Again, the side kick snaps open and allows us to follow up with our other techniques. So you just simply snap. Okay. Again. So side kick again. Doesn't just face this way. Okay. Doesn't get chambered up like you would normally. It just comes straight, just wherever the foot is, straight to the target. Wherever the foot is, straight to the target. Okay. Again, you really don't want to have to chamber it. You don't have to. You don't have a lot of time. Okay. You don't have time to pick it up and drive it straight in and out. Not in this instance, not as an opening technique.
Okay, can we go to the tights?
The tights. Get your tights on. Okay, so kick.
Ready? And
Yep.
you're ready.
Okay. Foot just comes from wherever it is, snaps straight to the target. One of the great things you can follow up with is down, shin scrape to an instep stomp. A kick, snap, scrape, stomp. Snap, scrape, stomp, and follow up. So the whole thing, snap, scrape, and stop. Again, you're driving that and scraping straight down on the shin, smashing the instep. Very hack. I mean, anybody who's hit their shin on the corner of a nightstand understands that that hurts. Again, an opening technique. Opening technique. Snap, smash, hack, and then you start to rip them apart. Next is the instep, where the side kick hit the outside edge of the boot. The instep kick hits with the inside edge of the boot. We could be locked up in a grappling scenario. We're in a clinch, and I'm snapping and scraping. You can stomp, or you can swing it in and scrape it down. Okay, locked up, swing in, scrape, or just stomp. Knee, kick, scrape, stomp. Okay, just A lot of these have to be careful with your training partner. That's why when you're using the dummies and the training tools, it's a lot easier to go full bore, and it's important to work with both because you can get a feel for another human being, but you can't practice them 100%. You can't go full go. You can only go full go on a dummy. Your partners, unless you want to run out of guys real quick, okay, you have to be careful. So stop, scrape in. So where the side kick was the outside, the instep scrapes in and stomps down.
Can you show, I was on you tight on your leg, can you show the grappling part
Sure.
again? And then we'll...
We're just locked up here. Again, don't forget everything else, the biting, the gouging, the hooking, all that stuff. Don't forget it. Okay, don't get enamored with all the fun stuff. Okay, so hack in, scrape. Again. Using knees, creating some space. I'm locked up, I'm stomping in, I'm swinging it in. Okay, can even do from the rear. Again, stomping in and bring him straight down to his knee. Okay. Again, so grabbing. Down. Okay. Next is we did the swinging and stomping edge of boot. Now we're going to do the hopping edge of boot, and you really have to be careful with your partner. You can do single, or double, straight in, stomping straight down. I'll put my feet to the outside of here, so just keep them there. From the rear, stay there, Pete. Okay, we did the swinging before. Now we did stomping straight down into your target. Also, you've got double. Again, I'm backing off and taking it easy on my buddy here. And he is my buddy. Okay, so again, we're going to be this just comes in for balance, but generally I'm up and coming up straight down on him. Driving the edge of my boot straight down so it catches the crooks of his knee, smashing his knee into the pavement, and then finishing him off. Very good drill to do from the clinch position is just a 3-kick drill. So your hands are locked up and you can't move and you want to create some space. So you're just going to practice kicking the shin, instep, outside. Kick, in, out. Sorry. Kick, out, in, kick, out, in. Kick, out, in, kick, out, in. Okay, so we're varying the outside and the inside of the step. Moving him. Now move back. Because in reality, you're going to be hitting with every edge of either your tip of your boot, the outside of your boot, or the inside of your boot. The drill just gets you used to stomping. Okay, so then when you really do it, now move back. Okay, you're moving and you're taking ground. And you're kicking and you're just being an uncomfortable SOB to be around. Last two techniques are the hook and the pivot kick. Now the hook or the hooking kick is driven straight into the bladder, into the body with the point of the boot. So you drive it in, drive it into the thigh, into the knee. Okay, I can be approaching him from a different angle. Again, just so he starts to bend and move, then I move in on him. So that hook and kick, point of the boot, snaps right up from where the foot is and just snaps into the target. Snaps right in. The other kick is the pivot kick, which again, same type of kick as far as where the area of the foot is concerned and how it's delivered. But now we're going to cover some distance. Similar to a round kick, but there's just a little bit more pivot into it. And it's an opening technique. An opening technique. Or maybe I need to change direction to move in a hurry. So I can be distracted over here. I could turn into his thigh and then move in. Again, the pivot kick. Swinging the body, swinging the hip around. Hitting with the point of the shoe. Okay, we don't want to get in here. We don't want to get in here. Okay, just pivot the body around. Could be facing this way. I could be from here, moving around. Moving the body around. Again, don't necessarily think of these methods and these techniques as if you're facing each other. And we could be in this situation. He's got someone I have to deal with. His attention is someplace else. Moving it straight in and taking it from there. concludes the Advanced Methods of Striking module. Remember, practice your techniques until they become instinctive and convulsive. Practice them from a variety of positions, from a variety of distances. All of them require little hand conditioning or little body conditioning. They're using your natural weapons. Train them individually, work them into combinations, work them into your practice drills. Okay, there's not a lot of quote-unquote teaching, just a lot of technique. Give you some ideas of how to use some other parts of your body. Give you some other things to develop. Again, the heel of hand, the edge of hand, very simple. Driving knees, very simple. Practice these techniques until they become second nature. I mean, there's really nothing else you need for standing, striking techniques. You have all your kicking techniques. You've got your elbows. You've got your jabs. You got your chops. You got your hammer fists. You have everything in your toolbox now. Remember, you're your best instructor. Put some combinations together. Practice them until you feel comfortable. And before you know it, they'll be in your toolkit along with the edge of hand and the heel of hand and the driving knee stops and the drop step from last module. This concludes the second module. Until next time, train honestly.